very good evening to you wherever you are watching us from. This is an English edition of Dalsan TV, Somalia's #1 TV station. We have a lot lined up for you on this day of 8th May 2023. But first, let's have a look at what we have prepared for you. Somaliland is drilling first oil well in Togdel region despite federal government's objection. Somali Defense Minister refutes organ harvesting claims, and 17 injured as Somaliland security forces clash with protesters in Borama. Welcome back to Dalsan TV. Somaliland has officially announced that it will start drilling first oil well in Togdel region in its quest to develop the country's oil resources despite objections from the federal government of Somalia.
Somaliland has officially announced that it will start drilling the first oil well in Togdel region in its quest to develop the country's oil resources despite objection from the federal government. Minister of Energy and Minerals of Somaliland Abdullahi Farah Abdi, who spoke at a ceremony to inaugurate the drilling of an oil well by Genel Energy, said this is the last step in oil exploration. He said that this well will be the beginning of the first drilling up to 16 oil fields. He said that he is not certain whether the oil will come out, but it's the last step in oil exploration, and there is hope that the bottom will be reached and that oil will come out. He asserted that this well will be the beginning of the drilling up to 16 oil fields, and that Dalsan 1 is the largest oil well that has been discovered after a period of exploration. Minister Farah added there will be large awareness events to explain to the public about fuel and how to operate it, and the biggest one will be held in Bur'o. Somaliland claimed its independence from Somalia since 1991, but has never been recognized internationally. After the collapse of the Somali government in 1991, the northern region of Somaliland re-established itself as an autonomous state. It has its own government, currency, security forces.
Now, the Defense Minister of Somalia has refuted claims that organs were removed from one of its soldiers who died after falling ill in Uganda's capital, Kampala.
The Ministry of Defense of Somalia has refuted reports that organs were removed from one of its soldiers who died after falling ill while undergoing training in Uganda. Defense Minister Abdiqadir Mohamed Noor said that the deceased soldier, who was undergoing the training in Kampala, fell ill and was admitted to the hospital where he later died. The ministry clarified that an autopsy was performed on the soldier's body to determine the cause of his death in accordance with international procedures. Minister Noor emphasized that the government of Somalia will never allow mistreatment of its soldiers. The minister said that the surgery performed on soldier's body was misinterpreted and the soldier's family was informed. The statement from the defense minister comes amid reports that 19-year-old Somali soldier Mohammed Hassan Mohammed Noor, who was recruited in Kampala, died under mysterious circumstances on April 17, 2023, and his organs were harvested.
Meanwhile, 17 people, including civilians, were injured after protests in the breakaway region of Somaliland as security forces clashed with protesters in Borama town on Monday. At least 17 people, including civilians and police officers, were wounded in the northern breakaway region of Somaliland as security forces clashed with protesters in Borama town on Monday. The demonstration was triggered by the killing of a local security officer, and police used live ammunition to disperse the crowd, leading to injuries among civilians. The incident is concerning as similar protests have previously led to a fighting in other towns in the region. Images of the chaos circulated online, highlighting the need for authorities to investigate and hold those responsible accountable. Earlier this year, hospitals reported that clashes between Somaliland forces and protesters in Las Anod resulted in the deaths of dozens of people, mostly civilians, and around 30 others injured. The protests in Las Anod was sparked by the killing of several influential locals, including a senior official from the main opposition party, which led to demonstrators demanding justice and a return to the Somali Union. Now, the governor of Hiran region, that is Ali Jaite, has announced plans to impose siege in Al-Shabaab controlled areas in Hiran region.
Governor of the Hiran region, Ali Jaite, announced plans to impose a siege on areas controlled by Al-Shabaab in the region. The new move marks a significant escalation in his efforts to rid the region of the terrorist group's influence. According to Jaite, the decision to impose a siege on Al-Shabaab controlled areas was prompted by the group's continued attacks on civilians and government officials in the region. The governor's announcement has been met with mixed reactions, with some residents expressing concern over the potential impact of the siege on their livelihoods. Others, however, have welcomed the move, saying that it is necessary to bring an end to the years-long conflict in the region. The governor's announcement comes just months after the Somali government declared a state of emergency in the country, following a surge in violent attacks by Al-Shabaab. The terrorist group, which has links to Al-Qaeda, has been fighting to overthrow the Somali government and establish an Islamic State in the country since 2006. Despite repeated efforts by the Somali government and its international partners to defeat the group, Al-Shabaab remains a potent threat, carrying out frequent attacks on civilians and government targets. It remains to be seen how effective the siege will be in weakening the group's hold on the region. But for now, the governor's announcement marks a bold and decisive move in the ongoing fight against Al-Shabaab. Reporting for Dalsan TV News, I'm Ahmed Abdirashid Noorgesi.
Thank you so much for watching Dalsan TV, Somalia's #1 TV station. My name is Abdulrazak Ali. Have a good night.